Well, for one final time, it's a three-game series between the Rapid City Rush and the Utah Grizzlies at the Maverick Center in West Valley City, Utah. Dave Smith, Rush head coach and GM, alongside. We just learned that you can add one more to the list of buildings you've played in that you're now going to coach in. It was the E-Center back then. Your final year as a pro, 97-98, and it was the Utah Grizzlies back in those days, very early in their 31-year history. Any memories stand out from being in Salt Lake 27 years ago?
I thought we were in this building, and then I read something that when it opened it was not accurate, and I'm glad you corrected because I thought we had played in the E-Center. But what I remember is, when we did go out, if we went for a beer, you had to have a membership. And I asked somebody last night, they're like, well, that was a long time ago. I said, yes, it was. So beautiful downtown. I mean, I haven't been back here since 97, 98, and it's a gorgeous area, a beautiful rink, and it's too bad that they're ending in here. But got to the NHL game last night. It's a beautiful rink down there, too.
Yeah, checked out the Mammoth game last night, a game where they clinched a playoff spot last night against Nashville. What was that experience like? In a basketball arena, but a pretty nice hockey facility, too.
Where I sat, I didn't have any obstructed views. I know there's quite a few in there, and but it's the game presentation, the crowd, everything was A+. I thought it was a terrific venue, and I got some friends on both teams on the staff side, and so I watched it a little bit differently, but I really enjoyed the overall experience.
What is it like as a coach watching a game, whether it's on television or in person? Do you think like a coach during the game too?
Well, last night I did. Sometimes I go for entertainment. Sometimes you just want to see and feel it. But last night I did. You pick certain things that you want to learn from, and with the guys that I'm friendly with, I'll be able to ask them after their season, hey, talk to me about this if I saw something. You're looking at 2, 3, 4 things because, even some of our players went there last night, and what stands out is the hockey IQ and the ability to make plays in small spaces. So it does change the game a little bit, but the pace is incredible. The intelligence is incredible. The compete is incredible, and put all those things together it was really a good game to watch for me.
Well, 3 games here in Utah at the Maverick Center, 5 games to go in the regular season. We've talked about playing for contracts, playing for team pride, and obviously these are independent contractors going into one-year deals. Is there anything that you want to tell your guys going into these last 5 games, knowing that the fate of the entire division has been sealed, but still plenty to play for individually and for a team these last 2 weeks?
Well, I think pride's at the top of the list. I mean, it's personal pride, it's team pride. These guys Utah only has 3 games left. Let's finish ahead of them in the standings. Let's finish ahead of Wichita. Let's finish as high as we can in the standings. Let's play the game properly. Let's add something to our game that says, it didn't happen and we're all disappointed, but we're still growing in opportunities to grow. So not done yet. We might not have made the playoffs, but we're not done coaching and playing.
You get 2 new players in as well, and this is maybe a misconception. Like, we need to get a full lineup here, and getting guys opportunities with 5 players on 14-day injured lists right now, and even more called up. Teddy Lagerbach from Stonehill and Will Portocalis from Toronto Metro University, 2 guys who will make their pro debuts here tonight. What is the thought process behind? Yes, we know where the Rush are in the picture, but you still want to get players opportunities and maybe look towards the future even more as we end the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. Let's try and win a game tonight. Let's make sure that we have a full roster so that guys aren't physically taxed, which might expose them to injury going into the offseason. That's a really important point. And give some guys a look that, we know who they are. We know what they've done. I mean, Portocalis is a young guy who went to university earlier than most and has just continued to climb and led his team in scoring, and a very good team. And so he's worth a really good look. Teddy, from nearby Minnesota, has a relationship with some guys, so we know the character. We've watched him. I mean, he went to Arizona State. He went to Miami. Got caught up in a coaching change in one of those places, and he's got IQ. He's got compete. He's got a really good offensive instinct. So let's see if it's a guy that can catch lightning in a bottle and keep it there, that we can keep on our roster for next year. So win today and look towards the future.
And you've got Portakalis in his first pro game playing with two guys named Ryan Wagner and Brett Davis. That's a pretty good look for a guy playing his first game.
Yeah, let's see where his offensive, IQ and ability is. I do believe that when we had Chiz, Olsen, and Wags together, teams I know they were focusing on them with their D pairings and always aware when they're on the ice. I'd like to spread that out a little bit if we can here, and Dave will give him a little more high-end support in Wags, and then let's see what Portakalis can do.
Okay, so we've seen this team, you go back to the road trip, Kalamazoo into Tahoe. We're kind of in that situation yet again. You have a disappointing end to a series or a series overall. This team's done a pretty good job of forgetting about that and moving on to the next weekend and doing all right. Similar spot here, but obviously different circumstances, knowing what the standings are right now. What is the motivation factor in a series like this? And again, trying to forget a Tulsa series that didn't go their way and spoiling Utah's final series here.
I think it's the same message it's been all year. It's learn and grow. So learn from coming off Tahoe, learn against Tulsa, and try and grow our game. And we can't spend all our time looking in the rearview mirror. We know what's there. We know what happened. What can we do both in the game and preparation for the game that can keep a consistency and keep a routine so the guys can be comfortable and ready, but also add something, add a drop of something that you guys can feel good about tonight and through the weekend.
This is a matchup of two coaches who are in their first professional head coaching jobs ever, and I understand that John Buchanan pretty well.
I do, and John and I go quite a ways back, back to some early days, and I have a lot of respect for John. I love his detail. I love his communication. I love what he does, and I think he's done a really good job here with the Grizzlies.
Are you able to, when you have coaches like that who are in a similar spot as you, can you have those conversations with them? What's it like in your first year with all the challenges that come with being a pro coach for the first time?
Yeah, and John and I have had those. The business of being a GM and a coach in this league, you want to look around and talk with the people about, not only players, who's available, who's playing well, what's happening, take a temperature of the league, but how's his experience going, share how my experience is going. And we had some very good conversations throughout the year. And like I said, he's in a different spot, I'm in a different spot, same game, different people. I think both of us would say that, there was a lot of positives to take and a lot of things to learn.
All right, game one here in Utah. What are your keys for 2 points here?
I just want to play the best hockey that we can. I always give you three specific things, but I want to play a complete game. I want our guys to be energized and enthused, and be excited about when the final horn goes. Be excited about how we played.
Thanks, Dave. Good luck.
Thank you.